Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today's lesson is on improvising. We'll use the key of C major for this example. We'll have some backing tracks for you to play along to. We'll have some scale shapes that you're going to have to learn. And we're also going to talk about transposing into different keys, okay? So grab your guitar and join me for about an hour. Okay, so we're going to start with our C major scale on our 3rd fret of our A string here. So your C major scale shape, 3-5-7 on your A, 3-5-7 on your D string, 4-5-7 on the G, 5-6-8 on the B, and 5-7-8 on your high E. Okay, so if you look at that scale, okay, that scale runs into the A minor pentatonic scale or the A minor scale as well, okay? So here's your root note for C. Here's your root note for A. You know that C major and A minor share the same note, so that's the relative minor of C major, okay? They share the same notes, so you can use both of these scales in this key, okay? It's just the root notes that you want to favor. If the song is in the key of C major, C root note is going to be what you're going to favor. If the song is in the key of A minor, you're going to be favoring the A root note, okay? So if you look at how that scale intersects the A minor scale, okay, so we start here on the 3rd fret. As soon as I slide from the 5 to the 7, I'm kind of inside of the A minor or the A pentatonic box shape 1 here, okay? So it's just on the outside. You see the root note for C. Okay, so you could say I'm still in the key of C here, but I'm also inside of the box or the shape pattern of A minor pentatonic here, okay? So there's my C root note. And I can actually play the pentatonic minor, and then instead of coming back up to the low, or the A note here, which is not what I want. I want to come to the C note back here, or the C note on the 8th fret of the low E, okay? So see how I went back to the C here, or it could have went. There's my C up here on the 8th fret, okay? So either way would work, okay? So just know that you have your C major scale that intersects your A minor scale or your A minor pentatonic scale, okay? All right, so we're starting off with just the C major scale, okay? So we'll play the C major scale over the backing track just to show you how every note of that C major scale is going to work with the backing track, okay? The chords I am playing on the backing track are in the key of C major. The notes of the scale are in the key of C major. They're all one big happy family, okay? So let's start here on our 3rd fret. We're just going to play the scale back and forth in time with the backing track. Great exercise as well. It's your picking sequence over the backing track. It helps with your timing, okay? Playing along to a backing track and improvising, you have to have your timing down as well, okay? This is a great exercise for that. Okay, so we have our backing track going, and we know our major scale in the key of C major, but we have no idea how to start. So let's just start here on our root note of the scale, okay? So you can either start up here on your low E, or sorry, your A string, 3rd fret, which is your C note, Or let's do the octave here on the 3rd string on the 5th fret, okay? That's your C note here. Let's start right here, okay? And we know what the scale looks like. You have to know what the scale looks like, okay? You can't randomly grab notes if you don't know where they are. You need to know where they are, okay? So, in the key of C major, we're looking for all natural notes. The scale shapes allow us to play those notes, okay? You don't play the wrong notes because you learn the scale shapes. So start here on your 5th fret, which is your C root note. See, I'm playing it in rhythm. I'm playing a rhythm to that. I'm not just going. Okay, or put some kind of a little bit of a flavor to it. See, that's a musical phrase. And you could do that any way you want. See that rhythm I just played there? Started on the bottom of the scale and play different notes but use the same rhythm, okay? Start right here on the 5th fret of your B string. Okay? It's all about phrasing. That's why picking sequences are so important in practicing your scales, okay? The other thing too is riffs, okay? You learn riffs out of solos. You can actually take those riffs and put them in different keys. And that's all improvising really is that we're recalling a bunch of riffs that we've learned over the years. And then they're subconsciously in our minds. We're just playing them. We're not even thinking them. They're just coming out, okay? I mean, that's very common. That's in hundreds of solos, that little lick there, okay? But that's a lick I learned years ago, and it just popped into my subconscious, and I play it. It's not like I'm thinking about it, it just happens, okay? So bending on this 8th fret, see, I know that that'll work because in the other scale shapes of C major, well, that right there is an A note, and it's A is part of our scale, okay? So that's why I know by bending the 8th fret full, which is a G note, it goes G sharp A. I know it's going to work over this key. Okay, so very important that you learn your scale shapes and you know where the natural notes are on your fretboard, okay? Okay, so I'll give you some examples of improvising, okay? So I'm going to take the D string and the G string here, and I know I have 5/7, 5/7 on both of those strings because the scale shape tells me so, okay? So I'm feeling the rhythm here, okay? And I'm going to try to connect to that rhythm with those 4 notes, okay? So I might go from 5 to 7 hammer on. See, I might hold the note longer, watch. Okay, watch backwards. Okay, next string here. Okay, so all of these scale shapes in the key of C major tell me where my fingers are going, okay? I don't particularly know right off the top of my head sometimes that that's an F note. I don't think that way. When I'm playing, I'm just playing in the moment. I'm not thinking, the last thing on my mind is that that's an F note. I just know that that note is there because it's in my scale shape, okay? So don't let that be your main concern. Just kind of visualize the notes, okay? So this is all visualization. When you learn a shape, that's why they call it a shape, because you memorize the shape, right? You know, you really don't need to go C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F. You don't need to do that, okay? And little half bends, remember? Now, these full bends and half bends, how you know when to do a half bend and when to do a full bend? Well, you know, like the next note here, right? That's my G note. There's no sharps or flats in the key of C, so G sharp, A. I know that note there is my next note, so I can bend that one up full to that note, right? Now here, I have an E note, and that's an F note, okay? I know that it's only going to be a half bend, but even if I didn't even know that that was an E note, and I'm using a bit of basic theory because I know that there's no E sharp, then the next note is F. Well, the scale shape, even if I didn't know that that was an E, I know the next note is next to it, so I'm not going to bend that full, because if I bend it full, I'm jumping over that note. Now I have this note that does not sound right because it's not in the key, okay? So that's why I would do that half bend. So knowing it's an E and knowing that you know, you're only bending up a semitone because there's no E sharp, well, that's great. If you know that, great. But if you don't know that, your scale shape is actually telling you that anyway, okay? And a bend sounds nice, listen. Or, right? There's no... It's a little smoother with the pull-offs, right? Or slides. It's just expression, that's all that is. Right? Could do a bend, watch. Or... right? It sounds nicer when you do a little slide. Nice bend, watch. Right? You're bringing the pitch down with the bend. You can't do that if you're just gonna go. Right? Watch the bend. Versus this. Right? Or a slide. Right? You can do a slide. right? There's 4 notes, okay? And also, friends, so transposing, so everything that I showed you in this video is in the key of C major. So by knowing your musical alphabet, how it lays out with the sharps and flats in between each note, you can transpose very easily, okay? So there's a diagram that will be posted that shows you how the musical alphabet is laid out. So basically, from C to D is 2 tones, okay? So, or a whole tone or 2 semitones, whatever you want to call it. It's 2 frets, okay? So, basic math, any of that tablature that I have up there, in the key of C, if you add 2 to every number, it becomes D major, okay? So you learn all your shapes that I showed you in the key of C. If you want to transpose them to the key of D major, move everything up 2 frets. Add 2 to everything, okay? If you want to go from C to E major, for example, you would add 4 because you have to go C sharp D, there's 2, D sharp E, 4. So you have 4 notes or 4 semitones to go up from C to E, okay? And that's how you transpose, okay? So take all of the shapes that I have for you in the key of C major and try to transpose them into different keys. There's backing tracks all over YouTube in different keys. I also have backing track section in my playlist section where you can find some different keys if you want to try to practice over those as well, okay? Okay, friends, thank you for hanging out with me on this new video. I will post all of the diagrams of the shapes in C major so you can learn them and go back and try to make up some guitar solos based off of each shape, okay? And then try taking the shapes and run them together. You know, like the same thing with the pentatonic minor, right? You know, you have shape 5 here and shape 1 and shape 2. I've done this many times where I've taken notes from shape 5, run into shape 1, run into shape 2, right? Okay guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys at the next video.